All right, so let's get going. I just want to welcome everyone from the community for joining us today for the presentation. It is an honor to be able to do this with you guys and have an actual online clinic that people can attend from the comforts of their own home. I would like to do a little brief introduction of our speaker today. So many of you know Melissa. She is our social media director from the QGA. You know her as the one who's responsible for keeping you up to date of all QGA activities, especially through Facebook, through Instagram, and the organization's website, and even videos and on TikTok. So you've also seen her breaking some moves down on the dance floor, as well as playing piano. She's one of our key musicians in the St. Francis Xavier Choir. So she's a multi-talented director and our presenter for today's talk. So I just want to let you know, so following the presentation, as I mentioned, we will give you the opportunity to ask any questions or to make any comments. Just kindly wait till the end of the presentation and you'll have the opportunity either to put your hand up and ask them directly, or you can write your questions in the chat. So without further ado, I'm giving the floor to our speaker.
Thank you, Priscilla. So good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'll just start off by sharing my presentation. Okay, there we go. Perfect. So I just want to start off by saying it's a real honor to be presenting the QGA's very first online clinic. Today, we'll be discussing cybersecurity and how we can protect ourselves and our personal information in our ever-changing digital world. So what exactly are we going to be looking at over the next 45 minutes? Essentially, we are going to define what cybersecurity is, followed by looking at the sources of online threats to our personal information. Once we have established what the sources are, we will look at clues that can help us better identify these digital threats. And finally, we will list some techniques and methods that can help us avoid cyber attacks or handle them if we are unfortunately victims to a cyber criminal. So pay close attention because we'll have some interesting scenarios to test your knowledge at the end of the presentation. So without a doubt, technology has made our lives so much easier. We can access and share information at what feels like lightning speed. We have a digital presence in the world through our social media accounts such as Facebook, Instagram, our online banking, and any medical sites that are used to book appointments and check our test results. But this is a double-edged sword, as there can be risks to having this data online. We often have a false sense of security because we have our antivirus software or firewalls. Sadly, there are always malicious people who will actively find methods to exploit an individual's personal and private information. These cyber attacks, as they are called, usually aim to access, change, destroy sensitive information, going so far as to extort money from a person and even interrupt normal businesses. This leads us up to what our topic of this presentation is about. What is cybersecurity? It's protecting people, systems, networks, and programs from digital attacks. So now that we've defined what cybersecurity is, let's move on to assessing what an online security threat really is. Basically, there are different types of cyber attacks, each one targeting users in a different way. The main methods used by cybercriminals are malware and social engineering. Malware is software that is designed to alter, steal, and destroy data, spreading from computer to computer. Social engineering is much more personalized, using psychological manipulation to trick people. Normally, cybercriminals will rely on emails, text messages, and will even contact a person by phone, the internet, or even in person. Let's now take a closer look at these two methods that we just mentioned. Malware can be computer viruses, worms, or Trojan horses that, much like actual biological viruses, can infect your computer. Another type of malware commonly seen is ransomware, which functions in a slightly different manner, hijacking and infecting a user's computer, essentially corrupting and damaging files. When an attacker uses ransomware, a person's computer system files are locked through encoding, and only the attacker has the digital key to unlock and decode the files. And for them to do so, the attacker will demand some sort of payment. Unfortunately, cyber attackers can be creative, and new forms of malware are regularly being developed. What about that other threat that was mentioned earlier? As I stated earlier, social engineering is a hacking method where an attacker will steal your personal data and will sell this information on the dark web. Cybercriminals can be cunning, adapting their strategies according to the age, knowledge level, and professional status, among many other variables of their targeted victims. Since I briefly cited the dark web in the previous slide, I thought it would be interesting to demonstrate exactly how information on the internet is really organized. Contrary to what we might think, we only access a very small percentage of data on the internet as we browse or post on our social media. A much higher percentage of the information out there is legitimate legal data that requires subscription or authorization to gain access. And the bad, nefarious, and illegal sites all lie deep down in what is called the dark web, which can only be accessed through layers of complex connections. So let's go back to our method of social engineering. We had cited the use of emails to lure a victim. This is called phishing. Attackers will use fraudulent messages like bait to tempt you into sending confidential information like your ATM, your credit card number, and personal usernames or passwords. A cyber attacker can similarly use direct contact, collecting personal data from partially destroyed documents or info stored on the web to trick a person much more efficiently. In both these instances, an action is required on our part to open an entry point and allow cyber criminals access to our personal information. This is known as the propagation medium. So what are the common propagation media that have been assessed? Personal data and info can be obtained by attackers through freeware, USB keys, external hard drives, emails, fraudulent websites, phones, tablets, and sharing info with an unidentified person. But we are most targeted through emails. That being said, let's examine what we should be looking at when it comes to assessing emails as a potential threat. If we start from the top, we should be carefully checking out the email heading. What should we be asking ourselves from the get-go? Do I know this person? Do I recognize this person's email address? And does the address sound legitimate? Does the subject of the email apply to anything that pertains to my life, whether personal or professional? Once going through that first section, we can take a closer look at the actual body of the message. What should I be evaluating as a red flag? Is the message written in a foreign language? Are there actual spelling mistakes or sentences are worded strangely? Is there a mention of an emergency or a financial gain? A poorly written email message, whether in English or a foreign dialect with bizarre symbols or characters, can be an indication that something is amiss. Even more so is if there is a suspicious or unconventional signature from the sender at the end. The tone and nature of the message is of utmost importance in our assessment. Fraudulent messages will insist we have to act quickly, requesting money or additional information. There might even be a visible hyperlink that the sender will say the recipient must click on. Hyperlinks are those funny blue colored lines that when we hover our mouse over them, we have the option of clicking on them. Doing so generally brings us to another web page, but we should always be exercising caution as we might be taken to a website that will access our personal data, or even downloading something we might not want on our electronic devices. The same applies to an attachment we might have at the end of our email message. We should be wary of downloading anything with strange names on our computers. We might be getting more than we bargained for. So the take-home message is simple. Use your judgment. and take the time to properly examine things. If you even have the slightest doubt, do not click on the message. We had outlined as well that social engineering can be done through direct contact with the person. Perhaps this has already happened to you before. You receive a text message or phone call claiming that you are entitled to a large refund, and by confirming a few things for the caller or texter, the money will be on its way into your bank account. Or you're the lucky winner of a 7-day cruise to the Caribbean. All you have to do is give your address and personal information to the person contacting you, and you'll be escaping the snow and cold of Canada to lounge on a beach. Although you might be much more cautious with the two previous examples, what would happen if a message popped up while you were searching things online and you were being informed that an unauthorized program was accessing your computer? The seemingly thoughtful person writing to you explains that they can remotely connect to your computer to rid you of this threat if you click on the hyperlink in their message. This is not altruism at its finest at all. Furthermore, one action on your part, whether it be giving the information required or clicking on that link, will start a cascade of problems that could result in your device being compromised. The long-held belief that if it's too good to be true, it probably is. If you have any doubts at all, never give any additional information to the person and try to get their contact information instead, essentially turning the tables and catching them in their lie. So let's recap what we have learned. It's absolutely important to be vigilant. Cyber criminals may try to gain access to your personal information through seemingly normal means, by sending emails, by requesting that we visit websites, and by asking us to download certain attachments. We are actually guarding the door to our personal information. If we give into a cyber criminal's demands, we allow them entry to our digital devices and provide them with enough data to further trick us. Not to mention, we also give them the opportunity to send malware that will destroy and damage our computer systems and files. Do not entertain discussions by phone or online. Much like with the telemarketers that may harass us at dinner time, we must train ourselves to keep conversations short and vague. We do not want them using anything we say against us, or even worse, to target our friends and family. And just equipment-wise, be careful when connecting devices using USB ports on your computer or electronics. These are excellent entry points for malware and ransomware. Okay, everyone, I've been presenting you with a lot of information, but nothing solidifies our understanding as much as putting what we have learned into practice. So let's look at 3 different scenarios and evaluate how we should handle each situation given what we know about cyber criminals and their methods. Let's suppose I receive a phone call and the person presents themselves as an employee of the CIBC Bank. They start by saying that they know the branch that I normally go to is located near McGill University in downtown Montreal. They want to confirm specific details about the various accounts I have with CIBC and would like to validate a few of my recent transactions. Let's complicate matters a bit and assume in this scenario that I do indeed go to the branch located near McGill University quite often because of the proximity to my office. What are some evident red flags we should immediately be seeing in this situation? First of all, this person called me. I wasn't in need of speaking to the bank about any pressing matter. Secondly, why did they assume the location of my main branch, all while asking me to also confirm that it is indeed the branch when I first opened my accounts? Thirdly, and probably the most alarming, why would they inquire about my account information? If they are indeed my main branch, they would already know. And many of you working in the banking field are aware that phone conversations with the bank require a verification of one's identity. This individual did not follow the standard methods of verification before starting the conversation with me. What should I do now? Ultimately, it is best to keep the conversation short and vague. We do not want to say anything to this suspicious caller that would give further insight into our financial habits. The next step is to take control of the discussion, turn the tables and get the person's name and phone number and insist you will have to call them back. Finally, we want to contact CIBC and report the incident, providing as many details as possible about what happened and what was asked of us. Let's examine another situation involving social media. A close friend has sent me a message via Facebook, requesting my help financially. She needs an exact amount of money for an urgent medical treatment and is ashamed to even be asking me for my assistance. She is specifying that the easiest way to help would be an Interact e-transfer for the amount, along with a screen capture of my confirmation notice. Let's look at the glaring red flags in this scenario. I did mention she was a close friend, so why would her first method of contacting me be by Facebook? It is also odd that she has requested an exact amount of money. Wouldn't she give me the option of seeing what I could provide? And like in the previous situation, it is very alarming that she would need a copy of the confirmation of the e-transfer, where one might be able to see my account balance or my account information. What should I do now? First and foremost, I should call my friend and ask about the message she sent me. This way, I can validate if it was a legitimate message from her. Secondly, I shouldn't respond to the message and write any pleasantries about her family, my family, or our mutual friends. I would have inadvertently volunteered additional information that could further be used to trick me or my close friend. Finally, it's important to report the incident to Facebook. My friend might have had her profile hacked, and others who are less vigilant might have been contacted and, even worse, sent the requested money. Finally, let's discuss a scenario that has been the subject of radio and television announcements. I receive a text message from an unknown number saying that this is a communication from the Canada Revenue Agency. They made an error when assessing my income taxes, and I'm entitled to a very nice refund. There is a hyperlink in the message that I have to click on to accept my refund. Let's look at the glaring red flags in this scenario. As the radio and television announcements have often said, the CRA does not contact individuals by email or by text message. I should be wary that I'm receiving this message in this manner. Secondly, they contacted me. Why must I provide any additional information about my financial situation? What should I do now? Clearly, I shouldn't entertain this individual, so I shouldn't respond to the message. Furthermore, I should not click on the link provided, nor specify any personal data. And like in the preceding situation, I should report this incident to the CRA immediately, so others do not fall prey to this potential scam. So we finally reached the end of the presentation. With all this information that we have covered, I think we should focus on the main take-home messages of the day. It is very important to be vigilant online. Our personal data can be targeted and used against us. We must essentially act as the security guards, monitoring and blocking access to cyber criminals who want to access and use our data or identities. We should never provide any information to third parties, whether directly or online, especially if you cannot confirm their identity. And finally, together, we can help prevent these types of threats. We should always report any incidents to companies or organizations involved so that measures can be taken to prevent others from being targeted by cyber attackers. So that's it for my talk. I would like to thank you all for your participation and attention to the presentation. And with the remaining time, I would be happy to answer any questions you might have. Go back to the presentation.
Perfect. Just give us a few seconds. We're just going to go back to allow everyone to have access to things. Okay, perfect. So we can open the floor up to questions at this moment. So if anybody wants to put their hand up to ask any questions or they want to write in the group chat, they can go ahead. Just unmute yourself so that you can go ahead and ask the question. I can see Fiona. Go ahead.
Flora.
Oh, sorry, Flora. Flora. Sorry.
Unmute yourself.
Yeah, unmute yourself so that you can answer your question. Ask your question, I mean. Yes, Flora, I can see you have your hand up, but you have to unmute yourself so that you can ask your question. Yeah,
All I want to say, thank you for for your information and for your good presentation. I also want to say I have been hacked and constantly being hacked because, I used to be sending emails to our QGA lists because I was the ex-president and I was very involved in sending emails. So every day or every second day, I'm getting QGA members sending me, like QGA members sending me emails with a hyperlink. And these are, I do not know how somebody has the entire list, but I'm getting emails from QGA members with hyperlinks on a regular basis, and I do not know how to stop it, but I have to live with it. But the persons from our QGA list will not be aware that they're sending it to me, but it's on a regular basis. Different people sending me emails with hyperlinks.
Right. So as I mentioned in the presentation, Flora, it's important not to click on these hyperlinks because as I was saying, it might take you to a website where you might be hacked or have to give your personal information. So like the examples that I was giving in the presentation, these are actual real life examples that have happened to my family and friends as well. So I totally agree with you, and I feel for you. It happens more often than we think. So as I was saying, really use those tips and tricks that I gave, and don't click on any hyperlinks.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for your question. Anyone else? I don't know if anyone else has any.
Denzel is in line. Denzel.
Flora, you mentioned that you got an email, even I did, okay, from QGA, president and all, but the email address is not the same. So the first thing you have to do, spam and report. If you do that, you will not receive that email again from that particular email address.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
you.
but every time whether it can be tomorrow, Melissa is sending an email, just a follow up, please send on the link, but always double check just the email address. There might be a spelling mistake, or instead of Blanche 1, it might be Blanche 1, 2, 3. Just like I, instead of I, it will be a number. So that is very particular detail which people skip.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So
That's
yeah,
all.
like you said, you have to report it as spam or junk, and you shouldn't be getting messages from that particular recipient anymore once you do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to bring up a specific comment for that, because I think a lot of us have received in the past, and maybe even from QGA related stuff, where it's a name of the member, and we do have our names on our website. So someone could easily use the information to send a message and say, hi, this is Priscilla calling or writing to you from the QGA. Could you give me some information, this thing, and there's a link for it. And they have enough information to pretend. But as Denzel and everybody mentioned, if it's an incorrect email address, but the names are in it, but it's not a recognizable email address associated with the person, you shouldn't be entertaining the message at all.
Correct.
Yes, I also received a lot of complaints from a committee members and community that they are receiving messages in my name asking for money and all kinds of stuff, whereas I've never done so. So I've always told them what Denzel just mentioned. Just check the email address. It will be Olivia something, but Olivia not DeMello, whatever, it's not the right address. So always check for the address and put it in your junk and block the email. So this way they do not ever do that to you again. I also receive a lot of messages in my iMessages saying that, Blanche, you have parcel by UPS, but it is not true. So I just blocked the number. This way they cannot contact me again. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
That's a really good example.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any stories to talk about? Yes, Flora.
I want to say that I have opened a YouTube channel. Then I want to be not saying our names as such, especially my family names, because I want it confidential. For the longest time, I told no one. I just wanted it to be like for strangers on the internet, so that whoever who didn't know me would click on my YouTube channel and enjoy what I produce. But now I decided, I should tell certain friends of mine, but I hope they don't mention my family members' names in the comments,
chat.
because I still want to be anonymous, because people ask me, where was this YouTube YouTube video produced? I try to be as vague as possible, in Canada or in Quebec, but not to the regular place where I live, because I want to hide that information. But I want to tell you all to enjoy it. So my YouTube channel is Flora Forever Reporting. And even in this, when I was producing, I was being copied so many times, and I had to keep changing my name. But my name is Flora Forever Reporting. So I hope you all can watch it and subscribe and enjoy my videos. I just came back from Ireland, and all the trip what I was seeing. So you can see Ireland through what I saw. I put it up. It's very, very ordinary. And it's very like a person who doesn't know much, who has a lot to learn, but you can still appreciate the little thing that I presented on the YouTube. So please do watch it, and only do not mention my husband's name or any name so that it should not be too close. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you, Flora. Thanks, Flora, for sharing that channel with us.
Thank you.
I think there's a question from Fiona. Fiona, if you want to ask your question, you can go ahead.
Yes, I'm so sorry about. Hello, everyone. I'm so sorry I
Hi,
joined
Fiona.
in so late, and it's at the end of the session. In fact,
No worries.
So I missed it, but I did have some concerns, because what if you have clicked on a hyperlink, and so from there, where can they go into? Can they get into everything of a person's?
Well, I think it depends, because obviously a lot of computers already have antivirus software and firewalls, so they can't get more information until you actually provide that information. So I think you just have to ensure that you have a really good antivirus software and make sure that the firewall is always on.
Okay, got it. Because I think there was some concern recently, and I was wondering, can they access? Because if, let's say, for example, I have a bank app on my iPad because I'm traveling and I need it to pay bills and things like that, would they be able to access things like that?
I don't think directly. I'm not exactly sure, but that's a good question. I don't think so. Like I said, it's more, they would be asking you specific details about your banking information. I know.
Okay, so
in the news they had talked.
But this is provided they're going through, like through my email account or whatever that I clicked on. But
Exactly.
what if it was something from Google, like from the internet?
Well, that's it. I think in the news recently they were talking about online sites that are pretending to be like our banks. Like I think it was maybe RBC. Was it RBC Online?
In that one.
Yeah, and they were saying that it looks very similar to the regular RBC Online website, but it's actually not. So a lot of people have been logging in with their account information and their passwords. So I think you just have to really be careful, just to make sure that you are going to the actual banking sites that you're.
Oh yeah, last time I got an email, I went running to the bank.
Yeah, right.
Just your fault, okay? Do I do the right thing? My son is in this business of coding and stuff like that, and he goes, "Ma, they can't get anything out of you." But anyways, that was the fright, and that was enough to set me off.
Right.
Just the fear itself. So
Exactly.
I thank you. Yeah, thanks for that information. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome, Fiona. It's a really good
Okay,
question.
thank you.
Thank you.
Fiona, just adding to that, whenever you click a link,
Yes, I'm listening.
yeah, so whenever you click on the link and your web browser tells you, do you want to install or something? It's
Yeah.
sometimes if it's your bank you trust, right? But
Yes.
if it's a bank, nowadays you have a replica of, as Melissa mentioned, RBC, Scotia, any bank you just put a letter, one letter extra, and you will get a replica page, exactly same like RBC, and you will think it's your bank and you try to download. But that is a malware where it's installed in your iPad and transfer all
Well,
the information.
I got it. I understood that because normally I would see Safari does not allow you to open this page or whatever. So there is already, and Safari is tracking how many people have been trying to get into your URL and whatever it is. So that makes me feel good. However, this time it was something that I used to click on before where I had no problem. And this time it allowed me in, and then it said, oh, you've been something went wrong. So I wasn't, that made me nervous.
No, that is not any pop-up. It's just website is designed that way. Okay, it's a website which tells you pop-up, click here, click here. Every time you click here, you think it's hang, but it's just a browser. You just close the browser.
I deleted it.
Yeah.
Good thing.
That was my solution. I deleted it. I'm not going to get tempted to look for books and things like that. It was like one of these places where you can go browsing for books, but no more. Done. All right. Thank you, Denzel, for that information too. Thank you all.
Yeah. Thank you, Denzel.
Even as early as yesterday, I received an email at my work from MS Microsoft saying that they wanted some kind of information from my work and if I had downloaded their software. So what I did was, it looks so real with all their logos and stuff. So I sent it to our IT guys just to find out if this was coming really from Microsoft, because we are using MS Teams all the time. So, but then they told us that it was spam and to delete it immediately because it was really not from Microsoft. So these are the things you should just have to be careful. Just take a minute to think why would Microsoft send it to me personally when they could be sending it to the company, right? And then the company would advise us. So these are small things that y'all can just do it like through common sense.
And Blanche brings up a really good point, because a lot of your organizations where you work, the institutions have practices in place. So your IT department will tell you you don't do certain things. They have measures. They validate things. They can confirm yes or no if you should do anything. So I mean, all the guidelines that are given to you, it's a little more difficult in your personal life because it all relies on you making the right choice.
Hope people have more questions.
Yeah.
This is the time to ask Melissa, a tech guy. We are so fortunate to have Melissa in our team because she has the answers for us. Denzel is there. A lot of IT people. Ninoshka, fire away your questions.
I want to say we have an excellent QGA team to have such wonderful ideas, and we have such talented young women and men who can contribute in such a wonderful way. So I say hats off to Melissa and Priscilla for doing an excellent job.
Thank you, Flora.
We couldn't have done it without the support of a good committee too. Like the ideas that we talk about as a team, they come to fruition because we discuss them together.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say thank you for bringing me some peace of mind.
Well, it is.
Are you in California now, Fiona?
No, I'm in Florida, close to
Florida.
Alabama. So I've been
Okay.
running around. Today it's raining. And of course, there's a time difference of 1 hour. So we are 1 hour behind.
Okay.
And
Thanks
and
for
that
tuning in.
I got kind of thrown off with the time difference because for me it was 11 to 11:45, and actually it's 10 for me. So I ended up being late for it and missing the major part of the, I guess,
Oh,
the
but that's-
information.
Everything's been recorded for you, Fiona. So we'll have the recording up and people can rewatch the presentation, including
Oh,
the.
perfect. Perfect. Thank you.
I think we have a nice suggestion from our committee members here. Since we have you together with the community members, are there specific topics you'd be interested in us doing subsequently for these type of presentations? Are there things you'd like us to discuss in the future that would be beneficial to you?
You're talking to me right now?
Anybody.
As the
Anybody.
non-committee member.
Non-
I'm feeling pressured, but not that I have thought about, but if I do, I
Mhm.
will certainly bring it up with you.
Okay. I did have a suggestion. I wanted to see if this would work for anyone because I work in a pharmacy. So my question was, do you think it would be beneficial to maybe do a presentation on pharmacies and the services that could be provided to you? Because I find we interact with a lot of patients who don't understand what their pharmacy can do for them. And it might be something that could help them medically. And we're really, really there to help. And people don't use the resources they have sometimes. So if it would be something that could help people, their families that have medical conditions, that might be helpful. I mean, I was thinking of that as a suggestion, but we really want your feedback to know what type of, what type of topics would really be beneficial to you guys.
Great suggestion, Priscilla. We will love that.
That's a great
Especially-
suggestion.
That makes sense with
Mhm.
pharmacy stuff. Sounds like a good plan. I don't know, something came to mind, but it may not be relevant
Mhm.
because
Either way.
it may not pertain to people, but people that need to go into perhaps at some point into senior homes and needing assistance in terms of being able to fill out, because everything today is online. So that could, I don't know if that would be helpful or not.
We could look into
Or
that.
is it-
Say that again, Fiona. I did not get it.
I was saying, like, I'm not sure if this is relevant or not, but people that perhaps need to go at some point into a senior's home and being able to, because everything is online, right? So not everybody is computer savvy or proficient or knows what's available. So I was wondering if that is something that maybe would be of interest.
Yeah,
I know
excellent suggestion. Excellent suggestion. We will look into it.
Okay, not a problem. Whenever. Thank you.
Well, and it's true. Obviously, we have a lot of aging members in the community. So, I mean, there are a lot of questions. And sometimes, as I just said, resources are readily available, but sometimes we just don't know where to look.
It's
Yeah.
that what you're talking about is true, because I was having a conversation with a friend of mine and she's gone into a senior's home. So I was questioning her about it in terms of how did she get it? And somebody off the street, actually, as students, they were helping the seniors at that point and they helped her to fill out the form. And she was so lucky because whatever she was on her wish list, she actually got it pretty quickly. Thanks to that person, whoever that person was on the street that helped her. And she said it was just like where she wanted the metro and it had to be underground because she didn't want to walk on the, above ground in the winter time. So it helped her in many, many ways. And that's something maybe that people may need at some point eventually, if not now. Like I'm saying, eventually.
Yes. Excellent suggestion. We are going to look into it. Tara also had a suggestion. What about a short segment on VPNs?
Oh,
yeah,
that's true.
Private networks.
true.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Excellent question, Tara.
Yeah.
VPN?
Yeah. Virtual private networks. another
Virtual?
IT thing.
What is it? Sorry? Virtual?
Virtual private networks.
Okay.
Any other questions or suggestions?
Sarah, you had a question, Sarah? No question.
We really liked the session. It was amazingly put together. Thank you, Melissa and Priscilla.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. That's very sweet.
Hopefully more people will join us in the future.
Yeah.
This was our very first, so hopefully more people will join us in the future. Yeah, but we have quite a big number today,
Yeah, it was
which
very
is good. Yeah.
very good for Saturday morning.
For
right?
Saturday morning.
Yes. Do you like this time or would you prefer another time?
Not non-committee members.
Because 11 seems to be a good time, I think.
Yeah.
After that, people can go and have a brunch or they can have their lunch. Too early is not too good, and evening is not good because people have social activities and stuff like that.
Fiona, do you have a question, comment?
No, nothing. I just put my thumbs up for the timing.
Okay.
I guess I'm going to leave you guys since doesn't seem like there are any more questions. So enjoy your day. Be safe because I heard there's freezing rain in Montreal. And
So,
and enjoy the weekend.
Thank you so much, Fiona.
Thank you. Bye-bye. God blessings. Bye-bye.
So it has really been an honor to see all of you. And since this is QGA's very first cybersecurity clinic on how to be safe in the digital world, hope you have learned a lot of lessons from this presentation. Thank you, Melissa and Priscilla. Priscilla for being a moderator. You did a very good job. Melissa, of course. So a big round of applause. And also to all my committee members who have been working behind the scenes to make sure that everything is going on well. So I'd like to thank everybody. And
great work, everybody.
Yeah, and also thank you, all you wonderful people for joining in. Hopefully we'll see a better participation next time. We are going to take into consideration all your suggestions. And until next time, and hopefully we will see most of y'all at our Valentine's Day party, which is happening soon on the 27th. We just have 3 tickets remaining if anybody is interested, because we are going to close our sale very soon. So just 3 more tickets remaining, and then we are going to be closing our sale. And thank you all very, very much, and have a wonderful day. Did we manage to take a picture?
Yeah, I think we should come off mute and give a big hand to Melissa and Priscilla.
Bravo! Very nice.
Very good. Very good, Melissa.
So happy.
Priscilla.
Thanks, Melissa and Priscilla.
Yeah, thank you.
so much.
Please come off mute so we can get a nice picture of everyone.
Yeah, I tried to take it. Just gonna, it's okay. Maybe I can take another one.
Yeah, can you just
fix your hair.
Denzel, Amber, come.
Where I didn't put lipstick.
Oh,
Rita, you were sleeping during the whole meeting.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm sleeping. I don't have lipstick on.
Let's get a nice. Shovin, just come this side a little bit.
Yeah, everybody
I'm
can
so
push that.
greatly all together.
Shovin, come
Oh,
on.
they're all
Where's Sarah and where's Ella?
Yeah, Ella.
Yeah, we'll take a picture. Natasha?
Okay, everyone's ready?
Yes.
Okay, 1, 2,
Where is
3.
Denzel?
Denzel, where are you, entertainment? Oh,
Who is hiding
loving.
behind that?
Denzel is here.
Annette?
Oh,
Oh, yeah, there they are.
Phone went off.
Annette, come off mute.
Okay, I'm gonna take it in 3, 2, 1. Smile. Okay. Let's see how it came out. I'm just gonna take a look. I screen captured it.
Good?
It looks good. It looks very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Good
Bye.
day,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye. Bye, Teresa.
Where is Flora?